This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so let's get started now. So today we are going to work on the concept called routing. So here, so we have the two types of routings available. So one is work list and another is work queue. Okay. So usually, so each assignment in the flow will be routed to some operator. Let's say some user. Okay. Uh, So if we launch an application, if we launch auto loan flow, so the first assignment, right? So will be assigned to the current operator. So who executed the auto loan flow? Okay. So in each assignment, so by default, we'll have an option called the current operator. Okay. So that means the current operator can perform that assignment. So if you want to route it to the different user, okay, so then let's say if you change first assignment to somebody else, then so if you click on auto loan flow, it will be routed to the operator which you specify. And that operator can log in into the application and can work on that. Okay. And similarly, in some cases, we can route assignment to the multiple users. Okay. Let's say, so we have a loan officer assignment. So that will be routing to loan officer 1 and loan officer 2. So these are two different operators we'll be creating. Okay. So when we route an assignment to both the operators, so anyone can log in into the application and can work on that assignment. So that assignment will be available in the queue. Okay. So this assignment can be accessed by loan officer 1 and loan officer 2. So let's say if loan officer 1 picks that item and open it, the loan officer 2 cannot open it. Okay. So anyone can pick the item and can perform it. So this is called the work queue. So where we are sending an item into the queue and whoever is eligible to access that, whoever is available for that work queue can access the item. So, and the work list is nothing but routing an assignment to a single operator. Okay. So we have a manager assignment that will be routing to the manager USB. So only if you put manager USB in the assignment, the only manager can perform that. Okay. So there are two types of routings available. So one is work list and another is work queue. Okay. So simply, so work list is nothing but the transferring the work to the single operator. So this is transferring the work to multiple operators. Okay. So this is called work queue, and this work queue will be associated with the work group. Okay. And each operator will have work group defined. So if you open the operator profile under work tabs, we'll have some default work group. Okay. So, and that work group can be assigned to one or more operators. So let's say the loan officer 1 and loan officer 2. Okay. So let's say we have assigned the work group to loan officer 1 and loan officer 2. So only these two operators can access these items. Okay. So if you later, like if you assign the same work group to another operator, let's say loan officer 3, the loan officer 3 can also access the same item, the work queue item. Okay. So let me log in into the application. So in the approval process, we have two assignments, the manager and loan officer. Okay. So in the manager assignment, we will specify manager at the rate of USP. And for loan officer, so we will be creating new work queue and work group. And we specify the work group for the new operators, loan officer 1 and 2. And once it routes to the loan officer, so we log in into application with these operators and will perform the assignment. Okay. So before that, so let's test it. So by default, you will have the current operator. So let me open the approval process. So by default, we'll have the current operator on the assignment shape, and that can be changed. So since it's a current operator, so we are able to perform the screens. So for all the assignments, you will see the default option. So that is the reasons. So when we launch the loan type, so we are able to submit from starting assignment to ending assignment. Okay. So before we specify the respective operators, so let's test this. So the first thing is like it will be resolved risky if the borrower is having more liabilities than assets, or the loan amount is greater than both the incomes into 3. Okay. So here, okay, let me run home loan. So for the home loan, so we are going to provide more liabilities than assets, and let's see what would happen. Just give me 1 second. So let's run home loan. So, so based on the requirement, so you need to test for all the scenarios. So as we discussed yesterday, so we need to test both the positive and negative scenarios as part of the unit testing. So in the real-time applications, right? So once you design the functionality, so once you design and implement, so you need to do unit testing. So once it is working fine, so then we'll pass it on to testers, and so they will test in the different environments. So, but before, so you have to make sure so it's working as expected. Okay. So the borrower is taking the home loan, and the maximum loan amount should be 60,000, right? So 10 plus 10 into 3. If you put 70 lakhs, then it will be risky. So loan amount, let's put 60 lakhs, and the purchase, I think so we haven't yeah. So let's submit this. Now the down payment, let's put. So if the down payment is 20% or more, then uh, the PMI premium will not be calculated. So let's put less than 20%. So 20% here, 12 lakhs. So let's put 10 lakhs. And asking price also, let's say 50 lakhs. So here the 10 lakhs is less than 20%. So it will be, the PMI will be calculated. And so we must need to specify the more liabilities. Let's say so add liabilities and submit it. So before that, so let's trace it, and the decision rules, activities, so everything will be traced here. So here we have more liabilities than assets, and it has written the risky. Yeah, so if it is risky, then it will not calculate PMI, right? So though you entered less than 20%, since it is risky, so it will not go to determine. Yeah, so it's resolved risky. Okay, this is the different one. So declare expression, but so you observe that, right? So it has return the risky and it update the status resolve risky and it's completed. Okay, it's resolved. So now, so let's enter more assets than liabilities and enter less than 20% of the asking price and see what will happen. And other conditions also has to be satisfied. Let's say 10 lakhs. Let's enter the same data. Still loading. So let's enter amount 60 lakhs. So enter 10 lakhs as down payment.
Sir,
Yeah,
why is the interest rate not being calculated sometimes?
it seems to be a refresh issue, so we'll see. Okay. So when you change the values, put the refresh condition, it will work. Okay. So let's submit it. And put more assets than liabilities. So assets 60 lakhs and liabilities is lesser than that, right? Let's say 40 lakhs. So now open the tracer. So now see it is no risky and it has calculated PMI premium. It returned 2,500, right? And obviously it will go for the manager approvals. If it is not risky, always it will go. Now, if it is withdrawn, so it will update the status stating that resolved withdrawn. If it is approved, so based on the conditions we defined, okay. So here, if it is auto loan, it will not go. If it is home loan and the loan amount is lesser than or equal to 35 lakhs, but so we have entered the loan amount more than 60 lakhs. I mean like more than 35 lakhs, right? So it will always should go to the loan officer approvals now, and let's see. So If loan officer approvals not required, then it will not go. Okay. So now it can be approved or rejected. Okay. So let's say if it is approved, so this, okay, this will not work now. Yeah. So you can trace it. So now if you trace it, so here we have update status activity, which will update the status. If approvals is approved, it will update the status resolve completed. Otherwise, it will be resolved rejected. Okay. So now similarly, you can test for some scenarios where like, so you put the loan amount is less than 35 lakhs and property type as single family detached, and expected outcome is it should not go to loan officer approvals. Okay. Yeah, so this is how you need to test as per the requirement. So now, so as part of the loan officer approval, so this we will here we will put work queue. For that, so we need the new operators, right? So let's create the new operators called loan officer 1 and loan officer 2. So always you see the current operator and this will be changed to work queue. So operator means like you can specify the different operator, and work queue means you can specify the work queue and it will be routed to the multiple. So let's create the new operators called loan officer 1 and loan officer 2. So you can simply take the manager operators and you can save as. So save as with USB loan officer 1 and USB loan officer 2. So you can save as with the name USB loan officer 1. Operator ID, let's say USB loan officer 1, create. And similarly, we create one more operator, USB loan officer 2. So save it. So we can change the names. Let's say loan officer 1. Save as this and put loan officer 2. So now, so let's create the work group. So the by default we'll have a default work group on work queue, and so we can save as them and we can create our application related in work group and work queue. So work group is contains the list of operators. So if you look at any operator, so we'll have the default the work group. This is called work group. Okay. So and inside the work group, we'll have a work queue defined. That is also default. Okay. So now what we do is, so let's save as the work group, take the work group from any operator, save as with a different name. Let's say USB work group. Sorry. Open the work group. So you can open the default work group from any operator and save as and specify the USB work group. Specify the name called USB work group, and inside the work group we need to specify the work queue. Again, we have a default work queue, so we can save as with our name. Okay. So first you save the USB work group and take the work queue. And save as. Let's say USB work queue. So inside the work queue, we need to specify the work group. So we created work group already, so that can be specified here. So remove the default and specify the one which we created. Now come back to the work group and change to the work queue, USB work queue, so which we created. Okay. So here you create the new work group by saving as the existing one, and similarly the new work queue, and call work group in work queue and vice versa, work queue in work basket, sorry, work queue in work group. Okay. So in the earlier versions we call it work basket. So in the 7, we call it work basket. But when I say work basket or work queue, both are same. So now take the work group and specify for the new operators. So go to the work, remove the default, and yeah, USB work group. Clear? So now go to the approval process. Operator. So this is nothing but the single operator. So you need to specify the operator ID. Okay. And so there are different options. So by default, we have the current operator, we have the operator, which is nothing but the single operator. So we also call it work list. And work queue is for routing routing to the multiple operators. So where we specify the work queue, and it will check so what work group is defined and to whom it is assigned. Okay. So if we specify while routing, so we will specify the work queue. Okay. So now let's go here. Loan officer. So select work queue. And what is the work queue name? ESP work queue. So internally, it will check what work group is defined and to whom that work group is assigned. So we have a work group, USB work group, and it is being assigned to loan officer 1 and loan officer 2. Okay. So this assignment will be routed to the loan officer 1 and loan officer 2. Okay. Any questions so far? And so we have, so we can also determine the operators using the decision tree and some other things, right? Let's say, so if you see use business logic, so if you put two decision tree, yeah, so already decision tree, right? So here you can call, and in the runtime, so it will evaluate. Let's say if the decision tree return the work group, sorry, work queue. So in the decision tree, you can put the conditions and the return value. If the return value is work queue, it will be routed to the work queue. If the return value is single operator, so it will be routed to the operator. So let's say, so based on the loan amount, we have to route it to the different users. So let's say there are 3 different users. If the loan amount is between, let's say less than 40 lakhs, it has to be routed to user 1. If the loan amount is greater than 40 but less than 60, let's say user 2. If it is more than 60, it has to go to user 3. So likewise, you can specify the conditions and you can return the operators, and that decision tree you can invoke here. So in the runtime, it will return only one value, right? So it will be routed to that operator or work queue. And so we have the custom option. So here we have again, so this is for only work list. You can put the decision tree and you can pass the parameter here. And if the work list is not available, so it can switch to the work basket. But so mostly, so we use the default options, and this one use business logic. And sometimes we use this also. So you put work queue, and again, so you can call the decision tree. So we'll see later. And so we have these are the different things. Okay, so we'll see these advanced options, but mostly so we use the default options only. Okay, so let's route operator. So now let's execute the flow and see what would happen. So let's execute the home loan. So we can log in with the different browser to see those assignments. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So manager at the rate of USB. Loan amount is 60 lakhs. Submit it. No, it should be purchase, right? So let's change the stage. I think we can edit here. So it will be applicable. So this approval process is for where the home should be. Do you have a home? Value should be no. Let's change the stage. Okay, so let's enter the asking price. Down payment is, let's say, 6 lakhs. So it will calculate the PMI premium. Enter more assets, then liabilities. So now you see, so it will be routed to the manager. See, now I'm not able to perform it. But as an admin, so still I can select from local actions and can be performed. But in the real-time applications, the admins will not do these, right? So users will perform it. So they will not have the ability to perform the assignment. Okay. So now, okay, this is the disable. So now let's me go to the manager USB. So I have moved the code from the different systems. So by default, you will see this allow rule checkout. Okay. So let's update the password. Manager USB. So you remember this, like, so so after deployments, I will be giving you the product file. So when you import to the different mission, let's say, so you have worked on in one mission, so you created a new application, and later if you want to move to the different system, so you will be taking the whole code. So when you move the code, so by default, the operators gets disabled. As the admin, so you need to, enable these operators, and you can change the password and all. So, and when you log in for the first time, the different mission, so you need to change it. So what is the assignment here? HL-2003. So this is the case manager. So where the manager can see the list of assignments which we routed to this operator. So go to the my work here. Okay, HL-2003, right? So you can open it. So let's say if manager want to withdraw it, so it can be selected from here. So if it is withdrawn, then it will not be routed to the loan officer. So now, so this operator will not have the ability to perform the same assignment, right? So it will be routed to the loan officer. So now let's log in with loan officer 1. So let's log off from here. USB loan officer 1. I think since we have saved as the manager operators, we will see the same issue. So allow rule checkout, right? So that means so this operator will be able to check out. So if you disable it, the operator cannot. So for manager operators, we enable that because so we delegate some kind of rules to the managers and they can change themselves in the production environment. Let's enter new password. So for you, think so you don't need to change these things because so when you create a new operator from the system, it will allow you to log in. Okay. Yeah. So HL-2003, right? So here you see the work queue and click on the work queue items or click on see all HL-2003, right? So if you log in with loan officer 2, the loan officer 2 also can see the same. Okay, you can try that. And if loan officer 1 open the work object, the assignment, then loan officer 2 cannot open it. So again, it will be a locking issue. Okay. So since you are not authorized to perform, I think there is some security issue. So what we do is, I think for you, you don't need to change anything. Let me think I did some changes. So you don't need to do these things. Okay, you don't need to change anything. Let me, I think it should allow by default actually. You are not authorized to perform loan officer 1, right? So there is no restrictions here. So this is the separate concept. So this comes under security. So we'll be discussing later as part of the security concepts. So for you, so it will allow to perform the assignment. So now let me check this. Okay, so it's allowing, right? So go to the approve or withdraw. Let's say if reject it, so it will update the status accordingly, resolve rejected. So this is how the different users perform the assignments. Okay, so you will be creating the new operators, the work group and work queue. And while routing, so you will specify the work queue and run through the flow and log in with the different operators and perform the assignments and see how it behaves. So, and let's say you have routed an assignment to the manager. So manager has to perform within certain time intervals, right? If let's say you have applied for a leave, it has to be approved in, let's say, 2 days. So otherwise, like, so we can escalate to their supervisor or we can send an email to them stating that please approve the leave request. And once it is approved, you will be notified via email. So these kind of things can be configured using service level agreements. Okay. So
Sir,
yeah.
like without knowing the case details, how will the manager approve or reject this application?
So usually, yeah, so that we'll discuss in the next class. So what will happen is, so if you wrote an assignment, let's say 10 different users have submitted the home loan, right? So 10 assignments will be routed to the manager. So manager will not pick randomly. So manager will always click on get next work. So this is when manager click on get next work. So most urgent work, most urgent assignment will be opened automatically. And they will just look at the information and they will, you know, either approve or reject it. So they don't need to, so they will have the details, right? So like, so when they open it, so they can also see the borrower information. So we can also provide that. Okay. So their job is to simply check items and perform it. So they will just click on the get next work and they will look at that as a screen and they will, let's say if there are documents, they will verify the documents and the information and they will approve it. Okay. Or and also if they want to, let's say there are 10 items and if they want to pick one of that item and perform it, they can still do that. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So similarly, the same thing is applies to all other users. Okay. So, but when they click on this, so since this operator doesn't have anything, so nothing will be displayed. But so you can you route an assignment and you click on get next work instead of opening the assignment manually. So since this user doesn't have any assignments, so nothing is getting open, right? So we'll be discussing the remaining part tomorrow. So we need to, so we log in into the database tomorrow and we'll see how the work list and the work queue assignments are getting stored in the table. And so once you perform it, those assignments gets removed automatically from the tables. Okay, so we'll continue this part in the next class and we'll start. So we'll discuss about service level agreements. Okay. Any questions so far?
Sir, by mistake I disabled the security group. This access group. Sorry.
Yeah. So
Ah,
you need
so I
to
put.
log in administrator@pega.com and where you can manage.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you remove it, so you'll not be able to log in, right? But still you can be able to log in into administrator.
I'm able to log in, but in the access group I put manager instead of administrator, so it is not able to show all the auto loan and everything.
Let me see that it should allow. So let's say I want to change the USB admin at the rate of USB access group, right?
Yeah.
So you can open that operator from go to the organization and click on operators. You will see all the operators available in the system, and you
Yeah,
can.
but it's not allowing me to change that. If I try to change it, it's showing you're not allowed to change that.
Mhm. So is access group exist?
Yeah, it is there USB loans administrators, but in the roles I put manager.
So you are not able to log in into the application.
I'm able to log in, but I'm not able to see anything like everything. Only auto loan and home loan is there. Nothing is there inside it.
Okay, we'll see. Just give me a second. So usually, so we can manage from here. Okay. So let's say you have forgot the password. Let's say something happened, right? So you can still log in with the default credentials and you can manage it from here. So let's say admin at the rate of USB. And here we can change it. Let's say you'll see all the access groups and we can change and we can save it. Okay. Yeah. So we can be online, so we'll see that issue. The remaining exit. Okay. Yeah. So thanks for joining, and we'll continue in the next class.